welcome to the post-fight press conference here at Bellator 50. Here at Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. It is the 8th time we've been here. In fact, we kicked off Bellator Fighting Championships in 2009 with Bellator 1 right here at Hard Rock Live, so it's obviously great to be back. For those folks joining us in the live stream, we welcome you as well to the post-fight press conference here at Bellator 50. The fighters are with us. We have press in the audience, and we will open up for questions to the press in the audience after our opening comments from our fighters. And at this point, we'll turn things over to kick off our press conference to the CEO, the chairman, the founder of Bellator Fighting Championships, Mr. Bjorn Rebney.
Thanks, Michael. It is an absolute pleasure to be back here at the Seminole Hard Rock. I don't know that I'll schedule another mixed martial arts event against the Ohio State-Miami game, but nonetheless, it is great to be back here. It's a spectacular venue for those fans who showed up tonight. They got a great night of fights. I'd like to thank our partners at MTV2, our partners at Epix that bring our fights to everybody in 30 million homes in HD, and our partners at Spike on Spike.com that streamed our preliminaries, and we saw some great preliminary action tonight as well, and went worldwide tonight. There was no geo-block on the stream, so everybody across the globe got to see those fights early on. Gentlemen out over to my left, I'd like to congratulate Vitor Viana on a good win tonight over Sam Alvey to move to the semifinals. Vitor?
Good night. I'd like to thank everybody for coming, and I'm happy, but I'm not really happy because the fight is very close. Sam Alvey is very good fighter. You know, my camp in Brazil, I have a lot of problems with my. I can tell, you know, like I was like 1 week sleeping in the hospital with my wife and training and back in the hospital, and now everything is good, okay? And I'm back to Brazil Sunday again to keep training, and I back more stronger for the semifinals.
It was good to have Sam Alvey back with us again. Sam put on a heck of a fight for us a couple of months back, earning his way into the tournament. Came out on the losing end tonight, but thanks Sam for showing up tonight and putting on a fight.
Hey, thanks for having me back, sir. It was a pleasure fighting again in front of everyone, and it's a rough loss, but it couldn't have been a better opponent. So thank you again for having me, and I hope to fight pretty soon.
I did my interview with Jimmy on the show tonight, and I said that I think I kicked it off. We were talking about the Alexander Slamenko fight against Zelig, saying cats and dogs living in perfect harmony. If you had told me going into the fight that Alexander Slamenko was going to win the fight by submission standing, I would have told you there was probably a better chance of me growing a second head during the fight tonight. But he did it. His game keeps expanding. His game keeps improving. He is, with a guy with as many fights as Alexander Slamenko has, to continue to improve, to continue to be able to do the kind of things progressive-wise that he's doing is very impressive. We all know how dangerous he is standing. We all know he's got an unbelievable chin. He's a very dynamic striker. But that was a pretty special submission. You don't get to see a lot. So a big congratulations to Alexander Slamenko on a big win at dominant level.
Thank you for the support. I respect Zel Kalesic a lot. I want to fight Hector Lombard. Thank you.
And we talked about it when we were downstairs. I don't think that you had any expectation going into this fight that if there was any chance that it would be a submission, that it would go to the ground first, or that it would be a submission loss. So I know it was unexpected to you, it was unexpected to us. Again, spectacular by Alexander, but you're a fighter we're looking forward to seeing against him.
Thank you, sir. They called in the storm, and I thought that tonight I'm gonna be the weatherman, that I'm gonna predict everything was coming, but I didn't. He caught me, and I needed to tap out. I nearly went out unconscious. Other than that, I'm okay, and probably later I'm gonna jump down from this balcony, but then I'm gonna be fine. Thank you.
The gentleman sitting a couple of seats to my left with the hat on, Brian Rogers, is a very, very explosive athlete. Showed it again tonight. Brian has been fighting the same way for the last number of fights. It's something that Sam Kaplan and I saw that we were very excited to have be part of the Bellator organization. He brought it again tonight, literally like water coming out of the end of a fire hose in terms of his aggression. But there's technique behind the aggression. It's not wild aggression. You can say what you will. I haven't had an opportunity to look at the finish. I haven't had an opportunity to digest it. I know fans responded to it poorly, but what led to the end of the fight was surely explosive. It was surely entertaining. It's exactly what you want to see when you're sitting in my seat. You've got the headset on. That's the kind of performance, that's the kind of aggression that you're actually really looking forward to seeing. So a big congratulations to Brian Rogers. I think you stamped your name on the landscape of MMA.
I just want to thank Bellator for the opportunity first and foremost, and been waiting for this type of opportunity and chance to show my skills for a while. And every fight I have, win or lose, I'm going to show up and I'm going to bring it, and I'm going to make sure people get their money's worth when they show up.
And Victor, as we talked about downstairs, you know, I haven't had a chance to review it. I saw it quickly up on the replay. I'm running around going back to the truck, but I would like to take a look at the finish. But nonetheless, we'd like to have you back. We'd like to have you fight for the organization again. Thank you for coming out tonight.
Thank you for having me. Like I said, I thought it was stopped, you know, pretty early, but I mean, he's an athlete. I give him that. You know, congratulations to him on his victory. Avenging his brother's loss. I mean, I just hope to come back and put on a better show, I guess. You know, everybody has, you know, life hits you hard sometimes, and, you know, you got to get back up. But when somebody takes that chance from you, you know, I mean, there's really nothing you can do about it. But, you know, hopefully next time, I come back and do better, give you guys a better show.
When we made the fight between the gentleman sitting to my left and the gentleman sitting in my right, the hardest part about putting that fight together was that you didn't want either one of them to lose. Brian Baker has been with this organization for a very long time. Jared Hess has been with this organization since the first time they turned the lights on, the first fight we ever had. It's well documented what they both overcome. I mean, the gentleman to my left has overcome an incredibly deadly disease that takes people from us too early, week in, week out, month in and month out, year in and year out. The gentleman to my right overcame what I consider to be the most gruesome knee injury I've ever seen in mixed martial arts and came back and gave it everything he had tonight. Very disappointed to see either one of them lose, but a huge congratulations to Brian Baker on a big victory. That was a very, very tough fight. Looking back on it in hindsight, two of the better fighters that we had in this division going at it in the opening round. Big congratulations, Brian.
Thank you. First and foremost, I'd like to thank Bellator. Thanks Bjorn for everything, always supporting me and being with me. I mean, every show always impresses me more and more. I mean, we had Shaquille O'Neal here earlier. He came up to me and shook my hand and said, good luck. I mean, I looked towards him and like, man, I used to watch you perform. And just being respected as a professional athlete, that's what we are. We go through much adversity and just have to always pursue to continue to perform at our best. And our sponsors make it possible for us to continue to be professional and concentrate on training. You know, Gamma O, all the above clothing, Flatline Energy Drink. Thank you. Thank you for supporting me and letting me continue to pursue my career without any thoughts financially. And I'd like to thank my team, my coach, Thomas Denny, been with me since the beginning. Just so much we've been through, and such hard work as a professional athlete. My team, Team Wildman, we put a lot of work in. I'd like to thank Jared. I mean, what better opponent than I asked for?
And Jared, like I said, a gentleman and a fighter who's been with us since the very beginning of this organization. Came out losing in today, but in a very tough fight. So, Jared, thanks again for showing up, putting on a great fight.
Yeah, obviously, you know,
think I'm foremost fortunate to be able to be back after an injury like I did suffer in the second round or the second tournament, middleweight tournament. But also want to thank Bjorn and the company. I have been here since the first season, and just to give me the opportunity to show my talent, show my case. And I give it up to Brian. He got out of a rear naked choke that I don't think a lot of people could have ever got out of. So and I think that really blew my wad after that tournament or after that choke. So I give it to him, and he's a hell of a fighter, and I hope he succeeds in this tournament. Goes on and hopefully fights one of the better fighters in this country, is Hector. So I respect them all, and I respect everybody. So I want to thank everybody for coming out, supporting. It was a great show, and everything else. I want to thank the sponsors. Thank you.
There's also a gentleman down at the far left-hand side of the table. A lot of you have seen his story. It was well chronicled by ESPN. We were fortunate enough to sign him, and I know the story's been overtold and told many, many times, but we throw around terminology like hero a lot in this game. We throw it around on CNN and on other stations, but the term fits very eloquently to Rad Martinez. He had a big win tonight, the first time under the lights with this company. I'm looking forward to seeing him progress. I'm hopeful that we're going to be able to help him have a little bit more time to train, to get away from the things that have kind of restricted his ability to train as much as he might otherwise like. And just a class individual. We're fortunate to have him fight for this company, and a big congratulations, Rad, on a big win tonight.
I want to thank Bjorn and Bellator for giving me the opportunity to fight for such a classy organization to compete with some of the best athletes in the world in MMA. I want to thank Brian Van Hoven for stepping up and beating me up for 3 rounds. And I hope we put on a good fight for you guys, the fans. And thanks to all the fans who came out to watch us. I think it was much more exciting than the Ohio State-Miami game. So you guys got this show. And I'm just looking forward to competing more for Bellator, and excited to see what's next.
Last but not least, October 15th, Boardwalk Hall, Atlantic City, New Jersey. Alexander Slamenko will face Brian Rogers. Brian Baker will face Vitor Viana in the semifinals for middleweight tournament.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Bjorn. For those in attendance, let's go ahead and open it up to questions. Our first question, let's take a look. Any questions in the house? Are you thinking about your questions? We do.
Bjorn, Jordan Sherwood from ESPN's Inside the Cage. Not just tonight, but season 5 in general. I mean, it's pretty much lived up to the expectations. Can you kind of just touch on it overall? Again, setting up some great fights, and obviously the guys up there performed well.
I appreciate it. A lot of things are coming together well for the organization right now. I mean, obviously, we were very fortunate. We were blessed to have the alliance with MTV2 kick things off, then to expand to Epics and HD, then to make the move to Spike, with Spike.com for the preliminary fights. You've seen a lot of progression in our shows in terms of the features, in terms of the graphics packages, in terms of things like that. But I think the thing that I'm most proud of that we're doing right now, that I've consistently been most proud of since we first kicked this thing off, is that the qualitative level of the gentleman sitting up at this table with me, the qualitative level of the gentleman that fought for us last week. Chris Lozano, who's one of Brian's teammates, had a spectacular performance in the last fight of the night on the Atlantic City, the sold-out AC show we did at Caesars last week. Just the level of the fighters. I mean, next week at 135 pounds, this organization, I've watched tournaments for a lot of years. I used to watch a lot coming out of Japan when the scene was more vibrant, and I don't know that there's ever been a more stacked 135-pound tournament top to bottom, 1 through 8. So what you're going to see next week will be explosive. It just the thing that gives me the most moment to pause is just the level of the fighters that are fighting underneath this banner right now. When I look at magazines, when I go onto all the sites that I frequent, day in and day out, and I see 4 or 5 guys of ours at 145 pounds and guys bumping in at 35, and Hector finally getting some of the respect that he's due at 85. I think he's one of the greatest 85-pounders on earth. And Eddie Alvarez now being literally in the top 4 or 5, Pat Curran doing what he did with Marlon Sandro, but both of them staying in the top 6 in the world. So that's what makes an organization go. We can create the best feature pieces and graphics packages and bumps, and we can shoot with 20 cameras and have all the greatest trucks in the world, but these are the guys sitting up with me right here that make the whole thing go around. So that's really what I think I'm most happy with in terms of what's progressing and what's going on in this company right now. Is just really high quality fighters, and we're also lucky. We're very lucky. You know, I sit with a gentleman on my right, Jared Hess, Brian the Beast Baker, Brad Martinez, and others who stand for something bigger than just their abilities inside the cage, which is also incredibly important. It crosses this sport over. It gets more people interested in it. It disavows people of some of the misconceptions they have about this game. These are some great individuals. You get a second, you haven't met some of these guys, walk up, introduce yourself, spend some time with these gentlemen. They are gentlemen, and you know, we're lucky to have them fight for this company. So I don't know if that answers your question.
Our next question.
Jesse Dennis from Sherlock.com. This question's for Brian. Great fight, by the way. I just want to know your thoughts on the pace of the fight. Sorry, there you go. Your thoughts on the pace of the fight, and now do you think of yourself as a favorite in the tournament since the winner of this bout was considered to be the favorite?
I definitely see myself as the favorite. I mean, I put too much work in to see anything else. Myself, I'll be disappointed in myself if I don't come out as a champion. I see nothing less in myself, and that's what I'm pursuing to do.
Also, the pace of the fight. Just comment on the pace of the fight.
I'm sorry.
Can you comment on the pace of the fight?
The pace of the fight, like I said, we all have to go through much adversity, and I went into this fight a little dehydrated than what I would have liked. My body kind of put on less reaction than I would have liked, and I had to fight through it. I mean, we come at our highest peak to try to perform at our highest ability, and we have to really calculate where we would like to be and how much intake we have to have in our body. And I miscalculated by a little bit, and second round I'll correct it.
Thank you, Brian. Let's check for questions again in the house. We do, right up front.
Bjorn, you mentioned the global block for the Spike.com not being here this time. Do you have anything in the works as far as a streaming partner for the main cards, for European fans in Asia, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. We've been aggressively pursuing international distribution for the main card. We've got about, I think it's, and Tim Donover's in here somewhere, you probably correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we've got 41 countries right now getting the live feed. Some of them running on delay because obviously some of them are showing up live at 4 o'clock in the morning or 6 o'clock in the morning. But from a streaming perspective, we probably won't go with that. The idea is right now just to continue to distribute the show internationally live, and or to partners who want it on delay as opposed to feeding it vis-a-vis a stream. But we're going to keep doing the preliminary show on Spike.com vis-a-vis a stream and keep feeding that out. The preliminary card we put on last week in Atlantic City was spectacular. I mean, if you saw those fights, that was an unbelievable show unto itself. And that show's getting tighter too. The folks in the truck are putting on a great show. So, we'll keep feeding the preliminaries live, and you can just log on and watch them for free.
Thank you, Bjorn. Let's check the house again for questions. Yes, sir. I'll come back to you.
Program now. I have a question for Brother Rogers. I always believe that people should err on the side of early stoppages than late stoppages, especially since we don't have any longitudinal studies with concussions in MMA. How did you feel when the crowd booed concerning your win and your victory?
Well, I've never been booed before, so that was different. I understand it wasn't me personally they were booing. It was a little unnerving. I think I had Victor rocked, and I think he went out, and I think he woke back up quickly, but I think the ref was already in. And so, it's a timing call. You know what I mean? He can say the outcome would be different, but otherwise, I think the outcome would have stayed the same. But this is a tough guy who, I don't know, some fans will know he's never been stopped. And He's fought a lot of other high-level veterans in other organizations, and he's never been stopped. And I think I was able to do that tonight, and I don't think the early stoppage really had anything to do with it. But you know, I mean, they have to be out there to protect their fighters. Everyone's got stuff to do. Everyone's got families and things like that. So everyone needs to be healthy. So I mean, I think the ref did his job.
Brian, thank you. Let's check once again the room for questions. Okay, sir?
Questions also for Brian Rogers. You talked about it briefly after the fight, but just an extension of the benefit of training at Strong Style, and then now your reaction to fighting Alexander in the second round.
I come out of a great camp. You know, there's a lot of camps and names that get tossed around, you know, throughout the MMA media. But I think Strong Style Mixed Martial Arts in Cleveland, Ohio, is one of those camps. I think it's going to be a time when people start flying out to come get with us. You know what I mean? As Chris Lozano showed last week and I showed this week, and others of my teammates have and will. You know, we're a legit solid camp. I'm just really excited to be here. I think next fighting Alexander is a huge fight. He's a tournament winner and has a huge name. I mean, he's got a ton of fights, maybe 3 times as much as mine on paper. But I'm excited. I think it'll be, a fight of the night, fight of the year type of candidate.
Okay, thank you. Let's take one last check in the room for questions. And okay, we'll take one more up front.
This one's for Alexander. Do you feel that your ground game and submission game is underrated? You threw a beautiful standing guillotine today. How do you feel about people, being surprised about that? And also, did you see Brian Rogers fight? What do you think about that? What do you think about his game in the matchup?
Да, я считаю, что моя борьба, мой партер недооценен. Я просто не хотел этого делать раньше. Сегодня захотел и сделал. По Брайану Роджерсу хочу сказать, что очень хороший, крепкий парень. Видно, что очень хорошо развит физически. Единственное, он очень быстро закончил бой и не успел увидеть все, на что он способен. А то, что увидел, хочу сказать, очень сильный, достойный соперник. Интересно будет подраться с ним.
I agree that my ground game and wrestling was underrated, and before today's fight I didn't really want to show my ground game or submission, but today I decided to show it and I did. And speaking about Brian Rogers, I really respect him. He's a very powerful guy, a real athlete, and I look forward to fight against him. Today's fight was very short, so I couldn't get a whole picture of my opponent, but I will study him and I know that our fight would be a great one and I really look forward to it.
Thank you. We'll double check the room. Maybe less time for questions. And with that, Bjorn, for closing comments, we'll go back to Bjorn Redman.
Thank you, Mike. Again, big thank you to the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino for hosting us again. I think this is the location that Bellator has been out more than any other. To our partners at MTV2 and Epics and Spike.com. A big thank you to them for carrying everything we did tonight for 4 hours. And to the gentleman to my left on big victories tonight. And really looking forward to seeing the next round of this competition October 15th in Atlantic City. So thank you guys.
That wraps it up tonight here at the post-fight press conference at Bellator 50. Don't forget to tune in next weekend, Saturday night. We're back to our normal start time, 9 o'clock Eastern time. Bellator's next event, Bantamweight quarterfinal round. We'll see you next Saturday night on MTV2 and on Epics in HD.